All right, this is part 3 of our coverage at the NBBQA, the final chapter, the last part, the conclusion, if you will.
The conclusion, the final. Yeah, I feel like we have talked and talked and talked. You know what? I'm ready to do some more. This is going to be good.
Yep, got some great ones lined up.
So, look, man, we're at the National Barbecue Association.
We're still there.
Yep, still there.
Still there.
We're loving it.
Yep.
And grilling. You can't bring up grilling. It's barbecue,
and grilling.
And grilling.
Yeah. We got Mark Lambert.
Mark Lambert.
Sweet Swine of Mine.
Sweet Swine of Mine. Like, guys, we have used this rub. We've tested. It's been, I mean, like,
I'm pretty sure we've talked about it on the show.
We have talked about it on the show. But yeah, man, thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it, man. It's great to be here.
Yeah. So what's and I didn't realize you were a sponsor of this. So you're actually help putting this stuff on here.
Yeah, I'm on the board of directors,
right.
Past president, but part of helping the organization and planning and the future of NBBQA and how we're gonna grow it and it's you guys are gonna hear a little bit more about what's happening. And it's always been we've always had a director, an executive director. And then when COVID hit and times got lean, we had to become a board-run organization.
That's right.
And when everyone else has, more than full-time jobs, that it makes it hard. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of challenges. So moving forward, you're going to hear a little bit more about how it's going to move forward. And Kell and Janet Phelps are going to take it forward.
Nice.
So it needs to have a face, a consistent face, and one that's well respected, and one that is that everyone can get behind.
Yep.
And Kell and Janet are those people. And it's a perfect parlay with the National Barbecue News.
Yep.
And, the whole organization was really started by, Kell's dad.
Yeah.
He started the whole thing. So it's just right that they take it forward and take ownership of it and turn it into something that can sustain their business and their paper and their futures.
Yep.
And be better for everyone. And someone like him, people can get behind him and really turn it back into something that helps people on a more consistent basis.
Right.
Not just more people, but more people engaged.
Yep. Yeah. I first of all, I've said thank you a million times, but I'll keep saying it. Like, we are very honored to be asked, and I think it was a collaboration here with John and Kell talking, but it was like, hey, do you want to do this? And John was like, you could hear the giddiness in his voice, like he just was so happy about it.
Yeah, that's how I describe it. Giddy.
Right.
For sure.
You're like a small child, John, and that's what I picture in my head right now. But at the same time, there was this like almost like this worriness that was happening. He was very like, oh, okay, we got the invite. Do you want to do this? And I'm like, hell yes, we're doing this. And you could see he was almost very reluctant. He was like, oh, thank God we're going to do this, And then Matt, immediately, I was like, tell him yes, no matter what the dates are, we'll make it work, it'll be good. And then Matt jumped on, he was like, yeah, I'll do it. And then he got a little squirrely at the end.
Because I had to make John sweat a little bit.
He's like, well, I got this work deadline, and we're like, Matt's not going. Shit, and then sure enough, here he is, So, man, getting to meet you guys and put to put the face and the name and shake y'all's hands. It's pretty freaking cool, to be honest with you, because you guys are all over barbecue. Like, y'all are like these giants up here, right? And I'm like, man, we're never gonna be able to. We're in some corner of Pearland, like, you know what I mean? It's just not. I don't know. It's pretty cool. It's for us.
But it's easy to make an impact with the show that you guys do and the reach, and it's easy to have the impact, and it's really easy to grow and meet all the people at something like this. First of all, I mean, it's one thing going to contest, but it's a different environment and a non-competitive platform to get to sit next to people, talk to people, get to know people better.
Yep.
Create relationships to help each other.
Yep.
And that's what it's all about. I mean, these classes and stuff are good especially for a lot of the new people, but a lot of the older people are here to help those people and help give back and do the classes and talk to people. And one of my first conferences the first conference I ever went to, that's what it was about.
Yeah.
All those guys were there. I couldn't message them on Facebook.
Yeah.
But when I walk in, they didn't know me. Those guys instantly come up and engage me and ask me what I was doing.
Right.
Who are you? What are you doing? What's your future? What's your plans? And and those guys immediately help guide you without ever. I mean, we didn't ask for that. They were just giving, and that's what it was about. And I'll never forget that. And so I'll, as much as I can, see someone that I don't know, usually walk up and ask them and talk to them. Where are you from? What you doing? Where are you going?
Right.
And offer help.
Very cool.
I mean, that's pretty much just did that with us. We were just standing there. Hey, what are you guys doing over here? What's going on, man?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't want to sit over there and get in a little clique and not talk to anybody new. I want to meet new people. I want to help and be helped.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. No, I totally agree. Yeah, this is a fabulous organization. Is this so? This is a non-profit that's moving to.
It is moving to a for-profit.
For-profit,
yes.
which is good, I think. Right?
Rising tide floats all boats, man.
That's right. Yep. That's right.
So it's and I think that Texas is the perfect place to grow this organization, and the South in general. But Texas has such a rich and unique barbecue culture in my book.
Yeah,
I spend more and more time in Texas every year.
Yep.
A native-born Texan, but didn't grow up here, so I find myself coming back more and more and more because people are so much more engaged and passionate, and really. I mean, like when you go to, just say you went to Houston to the rodeo. When we went to the rodeo, you start picking up on some of the nuances and how the committee there takes pride in their barbecue, and they take pride in taking care of the competitors, and they take pride in being on a committee, and they take pride in their award ceremonies and their charity that they support.
Yep.
And they get up on stage and they say the Pledge of Allegiance, and
how cool is that?
And they pray. And I mean, it's just, God bless Texas. When you come here, you want to come back and get some more.
Yeah, right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, it's a cool feeling just being around. Like, to be honest, being out there and especially Houston has the big barbecue contest, right? And Texas always just puts their stamp on something or whatever. But man, but everybody is so classy, and they're really. It's not a show, by the way. It's how we really feel.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You can tell.
Yeah.
When we went to El Campo, we cooked at a competition at the Lost Lagoon in El Campo.
Yep.
Those guys were just like, we rented this huge house that was in front of next to the water park.
That place is awesome.
We stayed in this house, and the owner of the place just comes in and is hanging out with us and having beer with us and just chit-chatting and talking. It's like we've known the guy for 20 years.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the staff, and you want to come back. You want more of that. It makes you feel good, and you feel welcome. You want to come back and get more of it.
Yes.
Yeah. And so far, everybody we met at this event has your same attitude. Everybody just wants to help out, like just wants to be involved. What are you doing? It's been very good for our first time being here. Feel very welcome.
I could not say that. Yeah, you're right, because it's like we're the new kids that are coming in and doing a little bit of a news and our media, social media, whatever. And to be walking up and somebody's like, hey, I'm this and right here. I was not really expecting that. I was really expecting to have to kind of break down barriers a little bit. And,
track people down.
Yeah, just kind of like, you know what I mean? And it's not been that way. So, very cool. Very cool. So, of course, the seasonings, right? Mm-hmm. How long has this been out for you?
I started making seasoning in my laundry room.
Nice.
Back in, I guess, in 2002.
Okay.
In a big steel bowl in my laundry room, and I've got, 1 pound, 2 pound containers of seasoning up over on shelves, and I always just made this in my laundry room, and never really had a signature one that I used. I always just made up something, and I think in 2005 we had a little rub competition, sauce competition in our team, and we all turned it in, and everyone brought their signature rub, and we all decided we wanted to come up with a flavor profile. And there's a bunch of good cooks on the team, so we decided we would have a little contest. And so my rub happened to be the best one. I cheated a little bit. I bought Paul Kirk's barbecue sauce rubs, marinades, and mops book.
Okay, yeah.
And I made about 15 of the recipes in there. And I took what I would consider the best of each one of those recipes and put them together. He's got a little formula in there. And there's like a little formula that talks about how much of this and how many proportions to use. And there's a little sheet of how to keep up with it. And so I took all of those, and the best of each one of those, and put mine together the way I liked it. And he had a basic Kansas City barbecue rub that wasn't in that book that I found online. and I made that one, and then I just adjusted the quantities to make it to my liking.
Right. Your flavor profile.
My flavor profile. I changed the sugar that he used, and he had celery salt, onion salt, garlic salt.
Yeah.
All of the salt. It's real salty.
Yeah.
And salty rubs just don't sell well.
Yeah.
Typically people look at sodium more than they do sugar.
Yeah.
And so low sodium and sweet sell better than salty and high sodium. So, and sweet, we're living in a pork town in Memphis.
Yep.
So sweeter rubs fare better with pork. And that's kind of the way it was built around, was Memphis and Maine. Didn't have any aspirations of taking it nationwide or anything for any other protein. It was pork. And so we put sweet rub on it. And so that's the way it was developed. And 2004, we kind of solidified the recipe for that.
Yep.
In 2005, we won our first world championship with pork shoulder. And then it just sort of gained a little more popularity. We still made it, but a few more people wanted it. I guess from 2005 to 2009, it was just a side deal still, really. I didn't do much with the rub. 2009, we won our first world championship there. And we had a co-packer come to us that helped us make it more like, we were having it co-packed locally, and it just didn't have the same pizzazz that it did when I made it at home.
Yeah.
When they came to us, Barbecue Spot, which is one of the sponsors here, they came to us and made it like we make it. And made it cheaper than we can make it.
Yep.
And that helped us push it into new markets and national chains, and get a lot bigger and better distribution. So that was a big step for us, and having a partner like Old World Spice or Barbecue Spot.
Yeah.
And those guys come to us. We were one of the first people on their Pitmaster program. So that rub was kind of the anchor that started the whole line of products, Sweet Fun of Mine products.
Wow. And then now you've got five different rubs out?
4 rubs. There's the original rub, the sweet one, and then the second one was the roasted garlic.
Okay.
It won I used it at the American Royal before I ever launched it, and it got an 8th place in brisket at the Royal, and it kind of got on their program under one of their other names, and their all-star seasonings they were doing through grocery. And so I started bottling it under my own brand as well, and we shortly thereafter came out with 2 other rubs that my buddy Mark Kriegler in Arizona. There were signature flavors that he made for himself. I just tweaked them a little bit. The apple chipotle and Texas beef.
Yep.
Now, Texas beef is real Texas beef. I see a lot of Texas beef names out there, but to me, if they're not black pepper forward, they're not Texas beef.
That's right.
And this is black pepper forward, onion, garlic, salt, and it's actually got some dehydrated beef fat in it.
Oh, really?
So it's
wow. That's cool.
Real traditional Texas flavor.
I've had the apple chipotle, and we marry that with some of our other seasonings that we're always layering whatever, but we marry that on. And I don't know if I should say this. You know what? Here's the deal. If I do say it, John can always bleep it out. But on our comp, right? Our comp cooking, and that's the thing about this is like with competition back in the day, nobody wanted to tell anybody what they were using.
No.
Right? And like 20 years ago, like it was like for us in this region or South Texas, whatever, it was a lot of like bar cook-offs, right? There weren't, and Pasadena, they had a big cook-off, and Houston had their cook-off, but that other than those two, they were just small cook-offs, and a lot of times you'd see the $1,000 guarantee first place at a bar, right? And you'd show up with your pit and you would cook and whatever, right? But this apple chipotle, we do use it. It is fire. It's worked really well for us, and I will say this: we did not fare so well at the last cook-off we were in, only because I think the judges were blind and they were no taste buds or anything else.
They have broken tongues.
Broken tongues. I don't know what the hell happened. They all had. I don't know, but
it happens.
It happens, and it's one of those things. And we were like, here's the deal. We were overconfident about how those ribs are going to be. We're like, they're the best ribs we've ever made. These are.
I've never won with the best ribs I've ever made.
No, right. I know.
It never works that way.
Okay, the ribs I always win with, the ones we go, I don't think those are going to do that well.
You're like, meh.
Yeah, right. And those are like, first place?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That was our chicken at that cook-off. We were like, the chicken was okay.
I said nothing on chicken, 198 teams, 5th place chicken. I was like, chicken's good, but it could be better. And fifth place, I'm like, well, I'm an idiot, so I should just stop talking. Yeah.
That'll never happen.
Right. That will never happen.
Yeah, we were at that El Campo cook-off, and, man, I was cooking on somebody else's pit and on Joey Smith?
No.
That sounds
Texas Chrome Barbecue.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So I was cooking on Joey's pit at that contest, and I was having trouble getting my chicken done. And he comes up, we pull it off, and we, things, he calls it 11,500 degrees, man. God knows what temperature it was, but it was hot as crap. And we pull it out of the butter bath it was in and throw it right on the grates and sear the hell out of it and got the chicken turned in. And it was a little ugly, but, man, was it good.
Yeah.
It was unbelievably good. And when we were confident after we cut into it, but then, we're turning our ribs in. They were just normal ribs. And they were good. And then we got to the brisket, and he had this 26-pound snake river that I cooked.
Holy moly.
It was huge. I mean, it was 6 inches thick.
Oh, wow.
So we trimmed it down. It was still huge. It was still, 3 inches thick in the flat. And we cooked this thing. It was beautiful. Take it out after it rests, go to slice it, pull a piece of it in my mouth, and it was like dry as a popcorn fall.
Oh, my God.
I'm talking about mealy.
What is happening here?
I'm not spit it out, and Joey looks at me like cow looking at a new gate. Like,
yeah, right.
What happened? I'm like, I don't know. I cooked it just like I always do. Yeah. Where'd you get this thing? He goes, I got it at HEB, and so God knows what happened to it.
Yeah,
right.
There's no telling.
No telling.
So he's like, oh, just go ahead and slice it. Go ahead and slice it. We slice it, and we turned the knife a little at an angle to make sure it didn't fall apart, and then covered it in au jus and put it back in Cambro and waited till the very last minute. Threw it in the box. Crap made final table. I mean, it was the driest brisket, mealy. But I guess it was like a sponge that soaked it up.
Yeah.
And they called final table, and they called my number, and I looked at him, and I said, he said, no.
Yeah.
Au jus is liquid gold. That'll save you.
Yeah, we call it, we were in a cook-off years and years. I mean, I was probably 20 years old, right? 21.
That's like 40 years ago.
Yeah, shut up, John. But we did, and my buddy and I, we cooked. We bought these briskets at the same place, right? And we went to, back in the day, different places had different cuts of meats, right? Walmart always had like a Black Angus brisket thing you could buy or something, whatever it was. So we go, and I'm standing there, and I pick out a good brisket, and it's great. We had no juice. When it rendered, there was nothing in that freaking pan, on our foil, right? So we always tried to foil the bottom or something, right? And just to trap it all. And we had nothing. I mean, zero. This thing was freaking frying in that thing, right? And I'm like, we're in trouble. Like, what are we going to do? So we conned somebody else. It was down from us. I see them pulling their brisket out, and they got like, I don't know, 40 ounces of au jus sitting there. And I'm like, I need some of that au jus. It's going to happen here. So I remember going over, and Ricky, he's the one. I'll give him a shout. Ricky Davis. Everybody calls him Hot Dog. So Hot Dog turns around and goes, tailgate gravy. Let me show you how to do this. And I'm watching him because he taught me a lot. I really just how to compete, and he taught me how to talk shit too. And I love that as well. But we're making a tailgate gravy. He said, just give me 1 cup, 8 ounces, whatever. It's fine. It's all I need. And he's making this thing. He's like, tailgate gravy. Let me show you this, blah, blah. And I'm looking at him like, we're not going to win. We're not going to do, we should throw this thing away. Don't even enter it, right? Don't even do anything. Yeah. Top, I don't know. It was like 3 or something that we got. And he's looking over, and he goes up, and I think I won it or something. And he goes up, and he was talking to everybody, telling everybody about the tailgate gravy. I'm like, you can't tell anybody these freaking secrets, brother. What's wrong with you? Yeah.
There's not that many secrets in barbecue anymore.
No, there's not.
Too much information, too easy to pass it around.
And it's fun, though. That's what makes it so good about it. It's like, now we don't, there's certain things that we do hide. It's not really hiding it. It's just because it is what it is. But our technique, and that's what makes really, really good barbecue. Really like yourself, really good competition barbecue, because you're so consistent. Everything is so precise. You're buying the same thing over. You're using the same seasonings. You're layering it the same way. You know what I mean? Once you're very consistent, our scores. Once we became a not drinking,
right?
a barbecue team, like we drink, but we say, hey, listen, on comp days, we're not going to drink until we turn in. Now, that usually works about 3 p.m., and we're like, okay, obviously we've got to have a beer now.
Close enough.
Close enough. But at the same time, being very consistent, and it wasn't until really, John, you and James and Matt really made the decision. It was like, and they didn't really say anything. They just started doing it, right? That was the big difference in our winning ability and everything else. And I'm sure you had the same thing, being very, very consistent, right?
Yeah, and making small tweaks, Yeah. When you taste your own food, you can get an idea of things that you would like better, but you got to be careful. There's an expectation in competition barbecue. You don't want to get too far outside of the box, But just small little tweaks and small little different ways to finish. I mean, one of the best things I learned from my buddy Joey Smith was finishing with salt, because most everything we use in competition barbecue is sweet. So if everything you're using is sweet on these big pieces of meat, you're never going to have enough salt. And so generally everything comes out at the end smoky and sweet.
Yep.
So he taught me to always finish things in salt and save your salt to the end. Taste it and adjust. Yep. And then, so these days, all of my dishes, all of my stuff that I cook for competition barbecue are very undersalted until it's turned in, because essentially the last thing you put on is the first thing you're going to taste.
Right.
And so we always wait to the end. We taste it. If it needs more smoke, it always needs more salt. But if it needs more smoke, we can always put it on a little paddle and stick it in the smoker and add some more smoke to it.
Yeah.
We can always adjust it at the end, and that last 30 minutes is where you win your contest. You can. Every cut of meat's a little different, so every turn in is going to be a little bit different. It's tasting and adjusting.
Yeah. Nice. I love that. So a lot of the seasonings that a lot of these guys are using, and we're using sometimes as well, that we fall victim to, that we're over applying the salt, and now you're like banking. Are my judges going to be drinking? Right. At that point, right?
Right. You can't unsalt it.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
Once you add it, you can't take it
That's
away.
Right.
And I mean, you can maybe add some sweetness to it to maybe counterbalance that saltiness out. But at the same time, now you're introducing a different flavor profile to it, right? There it is.
So that's my game plan. Is always finish it with salt and more smoke if you need it.
Nice.
So it's always tasting it to see. Like I said, we cook the same compart pork every time. We cook the same Snake River brisket every time. Chicken varies a little bit. We like to cook Springer Mountain Farms. But generally, we always leave it undersalted.
Okay.
Because when you bite into it, that salt wakes everything up.
Yeah. It enhances the flavor, right?
It does. It makes your mouth tingle, and it gives you the salty. If you add that salt at the end, it leaves that extra sensation along with the balance of flavor. So it's having those things at the end, and again, if it's not too overly smoked, adding a little smoke at the end.
So are you using like a finishing salt, or are you using okay? So we use this. We use this at home, and when we're grilling or on our TikTok videos and whatever else, but never in a competition. And I hope
we're missing something.
I hope there's plenty of people out there that hear something like this. And we talked earlier when we were talking about how different seasonings react with the proteins you're cooking, and pepper changes, right? Those garlic changes, but salt will just enhance.
Different grinds of salt act different ways too,
right.
and in different intensity levels. So I'll tell you guys what I use, but you have to beep it out.
Yeah.
You're going to want to.
We'll cut it off. Don't worry.
It comes from spicehouse.com. It's called Vulcan Fire Salt.
Really?
Okay.
It's spicy as hell, but it's
nice.
shallot and shallot forward.
Yep.
Which onion is very well received in barbecue. Mm-hmm. So it's shallot forward, and it has the salty, spicy sensation. And you taste it out of your hand, it'll blow your head off. It's hot. It's fire salt.
Why?
But when you use just a tiny bit over the top, just to finish your salt and give it a little pop with a whole bite, you're just going to have a few grains on that bite the judge is going to get. It works. It's amazing.
Sounds awesome.
Badass.
I'm ready to check that out.
We'll bleep that out, by the way.
Well, you'll want to say that for yourself.
What was that one we're using with like rattlesnake dust or something like that? It seems kind of similar to that. Do you remember what that was called?
The rattlesnake dust is just it is like a
It's just like a spicy finishing.
I don't know if that has salt in
seasoning.
it or not.
I don't know. It's very salt forward.
I don't think. Yeah, I think it's very salt forward or whatever. But we definitely use different whatever. Let me tell you that you're talking about earlier like barbecue. What did they call it up there earlier when we were talking about the barbecue? Not barbecue fails, but it was.
Oh yeah, worst things have happened to you or whatever.
Right. So we do a segment on our podcast called Barbecue Fails, right? Do you have a barbecue fail for us?
Oh yeah, I told it up there.
Oh, you did? Okay, I didn't know if you told it or not.
It was.
Okay.
It was. It was one of those things that we talked about. Win with your worst, lose with your best.
Yeah, yeah.
That was it.
That's
it was
okay.
like a 2014 Memphis in May.
Yeah.
And your product finishes. No one on the team's happy with it.
Yeah.
Appearance, flavor, presentation. We do presentation at Memphis in May.
Aroma. Yeah.
And so nothing about it we didn't really like. It just didn't live up to our standards, and we didn't get good vibes from the judges.
Yeah.
So what you do is you pull your meat off, you build a box, you turn it in, and then once you turn that in, you have 3 judges that come and judge you on site. We didn't get good vibes from the box, we didn't like it. We didn't get vibes from the judges, we didn't like it. Normally, the last judge leaves, we clean up, reorganize, make sure the meat that's in the Cambro that's holding goes back in the smoker gets fired back up, clean everything up, get dishes for finals ready, be ready for if we make the top 3, right?
Yep.
Didn't do none of that.
None of it.
Everybody put a beer in their pocket and took off walking to watch our buddies do their presentations. And so, when they announced finals and we were in it, I was 15-minute walk up the park, drinking beer, watching my buddies.
Right.
It was a 15-minute walk, and we had like 22 minutes before we had to make finals when they called me. And naturally we got 3rd. Every other year we're prepared.
Right.
And every year since we've been prepared.
Right.
No matter now, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Never know what's going to happen. Be prepared.
Right.
Because we were on a we obviously hit a table. There were a bunch of other bad entries too.
Sure.
So you never know. It's comparative at Memphis in May.
Yeah.
So that's my faux pas. Is World Championship. Not preparing for finals, making finals, and getting 3rd.
I would love to come out and just like volunteer and just like I don't know how the KCBS. I've never cooked a KCBS thing, and even if I did one here in Texas, I don't think it lends the same authenticity that it does in maybe in another state because we're like pork and like even cooking chicken. Somebody was saying earlier that chicken is like you can turn whatever chicken you want in, kind of like you can do drums or you can do or you can do the
thighs or
it's chicken. It's 6 pieces. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, right? And somebody turned in chicken salad one time, and they did not win, but
it's legal.
But it's
legal,
legal,
surprised by
which had to be judged. And I'm like in IBCA world, it's that half chicken, right? Mm-hmm. And you're stuck to it. This is what you have to do, and you're really worried about. I don't want to dry out my breast, and or you want to make sure your thighs are at a certain temperature and whatever. So there's a whole lot of just moving around a little bit and trying to get to work. And I'm thinking like, I wouldn't know how to there was a whole hog cook thing y'all did for the KCBS or whatever. I'm like, I need to be a party to that. I don't know how that works, and I just want to see it. I don't know. So I may just call one of these guys up and be like, hey, I'm going to fly in. I'm going to come up, drive up. I'm going to volunteer. You'll never have to talk to me. Just let me wash your dishes or something for a while.
Yeah. And that's where you meet those kind of people here.
Yeah.
You'll find somebody that, oh, yeah, we're cooking. Yeah, come on up.
Nice.
And there's a lot of people that are very willing to let you come up, hang out.
Right. No, definitely. That's what I like about all this.
I'm the same way with it. We killed so many chickens getting ready to start cooking in Houston.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable how many chickens we went through. We buy a case of whole chickens and we'd start trimming them and cutting them and cooking them. It's just before you know it, even my neighbors were tired of eating chicken.
Right.
Now we eventually got to where we could figure out how to cook the breast and the thighs. To the right temperature all at the same time, get the skin looking nice.
Yep.
How to figure out what sauce is added to the appearance of it, not worrying about how much flavor they really put into it. They don't eat much of the sauce.
That's
it's
right.
about more appearance on the sauce.
That's it. They're going to look at it and they're going to go in and bite a piece of chicken.
Yeah.
And it's also what do you give them? Do you give them the thigh looking at them, or do you give them the breast looking at them?
Exactly.
Right? And there's a whole lot of things that we go through, and we second guess ourselves so much doing this. And like this last one where we turned in, we had the thighs facing towards the person when he goes to eat it, right? And at that moment, I was like, turn them. I want that breast facing, right? And James...
Whatever's strongest, right?
Yeah. And he's like, I said, turn them, because they're not going to reach over that box and try to cut over here. They're going to cut what's closest to them. And if somebody makes a cut ahead of them, they'll generally follow suit, right? And I was like, do it. Fifth place chicken. I'm not saying I'm the reason this happened, Matt.
Oh, good.
Didn't hurt.
No, it's a good thing you're not saying that.
But it did not hurt. Just saying. We also...
Unless that thigh was the first place chicken.
You were not a hindrance this time.
No, we weren't. I wasn't. I did turn in devil's anus chicken one time. It was so hot nobody could eat it. But our faux pas, our barbecue mishap, was at that cook-off. Austin Rodeo, they require you to cut the band off
leave the tag.
and put it in the box. So when we turned in, we have our 9 slices or 7 slices of brisket, whatever it was, and I think James was walking it up there.
Me and Matt.
I'm sorry, you and Matt. And then James realizes that nobody took the band, so he picks it up and he's running through the crowd. Right, this is a
hunk of brisket in his hand.
Huge setup, right? Well, they miss each other, right? Because they already got to the tent, and it's like, where's your thing at? And they're like, oh shit, I got to go back. So they missed each other, and then James is like, they're yelling at me, and I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, there's not even Ovi here, brother. Like, it's not there. The band's gone. Like, it got thrown away. I don't know what happened to it, right? And then I see James running up like.
Brisket above his head.
Right. He's like, everybody's like, So we had to run back, and still at that point,
it was like a minute early. Still
20. Yeah. We didn't do as well as we thought we were, but after all the running around, we barely turned in 22nd out of 190 plus teams. So I was like, okay, whatever.
First IBC I cooked, I put my ribs in the wrong direction.
Oh yeah, disqualify you for that.
Well, they'll tell you.
I opened it up, and they're like, you got to fix this. I'm like, fix what?
Right.
They're like, the ribs are going to be parallel with the hinge. I'm like,
yeah.
Really?
Right.
Oh, crap.
There's always something.
So then I'm having to move over here, pull my pocket knife out, move them around and keep from smudging them all up.
Yep.
It's got 6th place ribs. And Lockhart was like 120 teams.
Nice.
Love that.
Look, man, we appreciate you stopping by. You have no idea. Like, really, seriously, thank you so much.
I appreciate the time, man. Before
you go, though, can you plug where to get your seasonings, social media, and everything else?
Oh, yeah. You can Sweet Swine of Mine Barbecue Grill and Superstore is our store that you can go to. It's ssomd.com. We sell about 10 major brands of grills and smokers, and we sell our own brand of sauce and rub. Nice. We have 4 sauces. We have a craft Worcestershire sauce, our original sauce, sweet and spicy vinegar sauce, and a competition barbecue sauce. And then, of course, the 4 rubs and a line of spicy garlic dill pickles. So we sell our stuff and then about 10 major grills and smokers. You can find us on Facebook, Mark Lambert, or Sweet Swine of Mine Barbecue and Grill Superstore. Instagram, we're Sweet Swine of Mine instead of Sweet Swine O' Mine, because a group of girls in New Orleans that cooked a charity competition only took Sweet Swine O' Mine years ago, before I got into Instagram.
Right.
And then I'm on TikTok as Sweet Swine of Mine, all the same stuff. But yeah, you can certainly find me on any of the social media channels, and on the website you can get our stuff. But you can buy most of our rubs and sauces at some national outlets like Ace Hardware, Lowe's, Tractor Supply, Bass Pro, a lot of places like that. Not a lot of grocery stores, but lots of hardware stores, people that sell grills.
Right. No, I've seen the Aces.
Yep.
So cool, man. We appreciate it, brother.
Hey, thanks, man.
Thank you, sir. All right. We are still at the NBBQA, still having a blast. We've got Kell Phelps with us, Barbecue News Magazine, and you're kind of running this whole thing, right?
Man, I tell you what, we are honored just to hang out, but to have a part in putting this together is it's a major task, but it is so rewarding at this point in the day, because we're about done. Everybody is tired. They've been busy all week. Ton of knowledge shared, networks grown, but to have a part in doing some of that, yeah, man, that's when you hear the story. I guess you guys just heard Miss Sunny do her deal.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she's a relative newcomer, but she's never done that before. But we heard her story, I don't know, 6 months ago, and I said, yeah, she's got to do this. So I pulled a few strings, and I said, hey, we got to have her, and they were like, well, who is she? We don't know her. I said, trust me, she's going to do this, and she's going to do it good. Well, if you're going to do that, can you do this for us? Can you do this for us? So
yeah.
It just started escalating, so now we're we're wide open with it.
Well, I heard after her opening speech, her little opening there was a lot of people who were just kind of looked at each other and went, wow. I saw a few people wiping tears away, so yeah.
Yeah, so as a matter of fact, they even caught flack from a Hall of Famer back in Atlanta. We were at the HPBA show, I don't know, a month and a half, 2 months ago, and they're like, who is Sunny? She's not a master. Who is she? She's a keynote? I said, dude, you don't know her story. Listen.
Right.
It'll change. Your attitude will change when you see it. So.
Well, that's what I like about that is that she is a newcomer to barbecue a little bit. They haven't been doing it her whole life, but what an impact she can make in a very, you don't have to be 20 years, right, or whatever else. This is her impact that she's making already. That's pretty awesome.
Absolutely. And her little deal on the last 30, 45 seconds where she was talking about the NBBQA,
yeah,
she's probably not even been a member a year, with that network. And she's already seen and witnessed that. So it's just a barbecue family deal altogether.
We were talking about this yesterday with all the guests. We didn't know what to expect coming in here. Right. And, we're thinking like a little bit barrier. We're going to have to break through and, get to know everybody. But everybody's just been so willing to help and just, giving knowledge. Here's my card, let's connect. Oh, yeah. So it's been a great experience.
So, my biggest thing I've always told people, and, at 51 years old, I'm kind of the old guy in this room because my dad was a founding member of this thing 32 years ago. And to see all the different lives that have been touched and changed by just people that they've met. Mm-hmm. I tell people all the time, I said, the only stupid question you ask or don't ask is the one you don't ask. Nobody's going to judge you in that room because at one time or another, we were all newbies,
mm-hmm.
And like, oh my gosh, I don't want to ask a stupid question, so because I feel like a dumb tail, but no, none of that.
Nice.
None of that happens here. And if it ever, I've never seen it happen, but I would imagine if it did happen, they'd probably get called out and took out behind the woodshed pretty quick.
Right. No, it's been really cool here. I mean, it just like Matt was saying, really, we really expected to really kind of go and chase people down a little bit and say, hey, explain, like, this is who we are, this is what we're doing. And, we've actually got a couple people that we've talked to, like, oh, no, I know who you are. Yeah, I've listened to your show, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to be on it, whatever, right?
Oh, yeah.
But getting everyone kind of share their own little nuances of this, what this place means and this organization and everything else. It's been kind of cool to record that and have that here. I was telling John yesterday that Meathead, right? He's in the Barbecue Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah.
How cool is that? And we did an interview a while back with David Knight with Old Hickory, right? And that's cool. It's like it's you just never know. Like this is a dumb podcast thing that we tried to do in the very beginning, and then now we've had Sonny on, and it's been really, really freaking cool.
I tell you, man, people don't really realize it. There really is no outsiders in this realm. I mean, I don't care if you're in California. I don't care if you're in the New England, Boston area, whatever.
Right.
We'll talk a little bit. I get an opportunity to do a little stuff in the membership meeting, but one of my favorite T-shirts comes from a group down in Mexico. Mark Lambert goes down there and cooks with those guys all the time. But they brought me a T-shirt, SMP Group, guys. But on the back of it, it says, it's got a saying. It says, "We're all united by the flame."
That's right.
You know, and man, there's never been a truer statement ever than that, because that is exactly right. I mean, you know, at home we used to have trouble getting briskets. I mean, now you go to Walmart here, you see brisket at like $2.50, $3 a pound. We're like, what? It's like $7 a pound at home for the cheap stuff, you know?
Oh, wow.
And you walk in here, you get $7 a pound. You walk out Wagyu, Prime, you know, the whole 9 yards. You're like, golly, I'm moving to Texas, buddy.
Come on, we want you. Come on. I don't know if that hat will fly here, but
man, I catch so much trouble about my dogs, but I just grew up bleeding red and black. But same thing, you know, we all have our brands. One thing that is so cool is if you caught anything about this, you see a lot of competitors in this room. Mm-hmm. These guys love to compete, but there is never a bigger fan than the competitors themselves. They're always cheering each other on. You know, there'll be a few that kind of stick to their corners and, you know, they don't jump into all that camaraderie or whatever. But for the most part, last night, I mean, it gets a little long in the awards deal because there's so many of them. Good gosh, it's a big fat of certificates to go through. And they all have won, but there's some that didn't even enter, that stood here, clapped, and just out of respect. To show that support for those that maybe this is the first time they've ever entered, first time they've ever won anything, and that's what we're all about. So, indeed.
I was going to ask you. You said earlier, how many total members do you have for the NBQA?
Right now, we're only about 350.
300. Right.
At one time, we were 1,500.
Okay.
But it's just a sign of the times, you know. But the COVID deal was hit. We hadn't gotten together in the last 2 years, almost 3 years now. But and that's the way the organization has been set up in the past. This one conference raises enough money, support, that it goes through the whole year. So that was really the only meeting they had. So hopefully in the new structures, we get ready to change things and grow it back to where it was.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have some regional meetings, you know, use some of our network with the restaurants and all that in the different locations, and have some smaller meetings and meetups, however you want to call it. But
well, talking to everybody here, so many people were just glad that it was back on, you know, and they're saying it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger from now on. So, I mean, do you got any big plans you can share with us? Like, how are you going to spread that out? Like, have more meetings or?
Yeah, so definitely a few more smaller regional meetings. But the biggest thing is to where all these folks have increased their network here. We were set up with a deal about 5-6 years ago called special interest groups. So one thing in this organization that's crazy is you've got restaurant guys, you've got rub and sauce guys, you've got manufacturers, you've got charcoal guys, you've got a lot of marketing guys.
Yep.
So each one of those segments were set up to have their own interest group so that they could continue networking even when we weren't here at the meetings or whatever. But that has kind of died down a little bit. And the biggest thing is we set it up on Facebook, and there were private groups, you know, so you had to be a member to get into that.
Right.
But the last 2 years, kicking back a little bit, the actual elected board has been running this organization for 2 years. No manager.
Oh, right.
They check the mail. They check all the emails. You know, they pay the bills, and that is very odd for an association like this. So that'll be the biggest change that'll be coming. We've hired our first full timer now in the change, and but those groups will come back, and they'll, you know, we'll make sure that those guys are only members or whatever, but they can continue networking through that private group. But then all you got to do is join, and then you pick which group you want to get into and you're in. You know?
That's awesome. We were just talking about this yesterday. Like, we need to become members. So if someone wants to become a member, how do they go about doing that?
Yeah, it's real simple. NBBQA.org, right there, and you can see the biggest thing. You know, there's some benefits listed in there, but to grow those benefits is the biggest thing. I mean, we can talk about the networking and all that, but that's kind of hard to explain. You know, a lot of people don't, like you guys come in and didn't really know what to expect.
Right.
I bet your networks have grown.
Oh, without a doubt.
Tremendously.
Yeah,
right.
Without a doubt.
And that's the thing. That's the hardest sell there is. Well, what am I going to get for $300 or $150 or $99 if you're just a emerging professional? But, you know, what am I going to get for that? Well, you know, your network's going to grow, so it will pay for itself eventually. You know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm tight. My wife says I squeak when I walk. So, and yes, I got 52 barbecue pits at home, and I got one more I'm going to take home from here. So,
there it is.
But yeah, same thing. You know, you want to, when you spend $1, you want to get it back, or you know what that investment has done, especially in the business world.
That's right.
But it's almost hard to put a price when your network grows like this, because you reach one turns into three turns
effect.
into 10.
Yep.
And it's just like social stuff. I mean, you guys have seen that, how one post or whatever, especially like TikTok and all that stuff, one good post, man, could make a whole different direction in where you're going.
Oh, definitely. Well, it happened to us. We were kind of meandering around a little bit on TikTok, and then we had one video that just kind of went.
It was about putting mayonnaise on a steak.
Yeah, it went kind of just that's it, you know. But here's the deal.
Blew up.
But once you kind of saw, like, okay, and that's a great example. It's something very small like that, but then all of a sudden it wasn't really like. I mean, you don't get a whole lot from a TikTok or whatever else, but it did kind of light a little fire for us, I guess, right? Mm-hmm. And then that's like, well, maybe we could actually put together some really good videos,
right?
You know, and see what this. When I say we, I mean John.
Right.
John and James do the videos. So yeah, I don't know. It's. I mean, also think about this. If you're into competition cooking, you got world champion barbecues that have won the worlds. They have the rings. They're here. If you're into catering and cooking, there's people here doing that, right? Food truck industry. Well, hey, you know what? People are here running successful food truck, and they're expanding, right? So it's
and all these people are ready to talk. They're not They're not
right.
keeping their cards close to their chest.
That's really cool. There's something for everybody,
right?
You know, we get a Bloody Mary guy over here that has probably some of the best Bloody Mary sauce.
Is that not the good stuff?
It's crazy good.
Oh my gosh! So, you know, we come up on him on a fluke. Really, we had a steak cook-off at Mark Lambert's place. The same weekend we were doing a couple other things up in the Memphis area, so we were like, yeah, we'll just throw a steak cook-off together up there at Mark's place. And he's like, hey, see where you guys are doing the steak cook-off and looking for sponsors or whatever. He said, I'd love to come. And he's like Ohio or somewhere up there, way up there. We're like, yeah, well, come on, you know. And so it turned out cold, miserable, you know, so a lot of folks in that region didn't come out. It was like 30 teams, I guess, or whatever. But so we didn't get a big crowd. And so it was like, look, you know, you paid to sponsor that thing. Just come to the conference. Mm-hmm. So we got to pay you back, you know. So whatever we got to do, just get down here. Yep. We'll take care of you or whatever. But now, and he told us yesterday, he's like, man, he said, I know I hadn't sold a lot of product here. He said, but I know when they take my message out to what they've seen here, it's going to be worth the trip down or whatever and all that. So it's that network that he's plugged into now.
Yep.
That it didn't pay off right now, but eventually it's going to start paying off. Mm-hmm. So, and that's the thing, you know, social media, we see those big posts like we were talking about, you know, it's instant. You know, you see like, oh, I got 10,000 views. Look at that. You know, you like shake your head and you poke your chest out. I got this. Well, then the next one you go and it's like 5 people. You're like, what? That was even better. So always sometimes when I think that instant gratification thing, you know, it's hard to explain what those benefits are for somebody to join because sometimes they don't see it right then. so it's not like a social deal. But when you come to this show and you see and hear all the different stories, it paints a whole different picture. So that's what we're hoping to do. And matter of fact, for the first time ever, you notice the video cameras going constantly here in every session. We've never recorded all these sessions and put them up for people who couldn't come.
That's a great idea.
Well, it's being done now, so we've got to get back home and edit all that stuff. So if you know a good video editor,
nice.
I heard.
Sean?
I heard.
No, he said good.
Oh, that was a key word. That's right.
That's right. The word "good" is negotiable.
That's relative, right? Yeah.
That's all we're learning. Gotcha.
But yeah, so all that will be up for members. So if you couldn't come, you'll be able to. You won't be able to interact as much as ask questions and all, but you will get the content that was presented.
Yeah.
And so that'll be another benefit that you can see, tangible, it's instant, versus the long-term stuff that you can't see. So.
Yeah, and some of the classes you're offering, it's not just like a lot of barbecue classes where it's how to cook a brisket. It's like it's more behind the scenes, like this is how you break down a lamb, or this is
whole hog class.
So
like
the catering class is happening today. It's the first time we've ever done this.
Super cool idea.
They're actually going to set up and cater lunch and do the lines for us. And so Craig is I don't know if you know Craig Carter or not, but if you ever go to the American Royal, he organizes Pigapalooza for OBR.
Okay.
So make sure and put that one on your calendar. So,
oh yeah.
Yes.
We need to come out there.
Well, we'll put you up in the trailer. So come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. He is a huge caterer in Kansas City, but he does that event. That's where I kind of got to know him at. But man, huge. Every catering job he does is just off the top of his head. He doesn't do any kind of set themes or like weddings or big corporate deals. They come to him and he draws up the ideas, and then.
Nice.
They're like, yeah, let's do that.
That's awesome.
And so he's kind of teaching that. He's trying to teach some of the creativity, but he's teaching all the math. How many pounds to cook for this. Sides, how to do this. Giving all the charts to all those guys that are in that class. But they will hands-on cater our lunch today, so that when they go back home, if they want to cater, they've done it. It's not like, well, I've seen it on paper, but can I really do it?
Right.
Well, heck yeah, you can do it because you did it here.
Right.
So that's cool.
Cool
but
is
yeah,
that?
you're right, man.
That is
Even
super
the
cool.
whole hog deal, we did. Danny Montgomery did the hog prep yesterday. Well, tonight we'll get to eat it.
Nice.
But the people who are in his class will actually get to go out and decorate it.
Oh, nice.
Before we dig into it and leave a big pile of bones.
Oh yeah.
Hanging around. So.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
But yeah, definitely, it's definitely not just the run-of-the-mill stuff. I mean, we've got it, the marketing stuff, all the influencers, how to get your bigger networks and all that. But there's a lot of different stuff that people don't really realize what's going on. But
And I like the fact that you had at one point you had the marketing class going on and the lamb class going on, right? And so there's so much happening out here that you get to pick and choose what's your interest, what are your go-tos you want to really see. And like I was in the lamb one because I was like, this is just a great class, whatever else. I think you guys went to the marketing, right?
We went to the social media. Yeah, that was when you were in the food truck one, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, that was the food truck one. But that's what's really really cool about this thing is that you just pick and choose which kind of one. This format is awesome.
Yeah, and that was one of the reasons, really and truly, 4 or 5 years ago, we started talking about filming it because you can only be in one place at one time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if you film it, you pick the one you want to go to, but you can still go back and watch the content of the one that you missed. And that was out of fairness. But then, we did a price on a video crew, and it was like 10 grand, 15 grand. I was like, oh my gosh, it'll make you want to throw up. So then we got the iPhones out. Well, nobody had Wi-Fi like they do here,
Right.
So everybody struggled, and it kind of fell through the cracks. But it will be happening for sure here coming up soon. So.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool.
Man, we appreciate it. You have no idea, Kell. Like
Cool, man.
I'm being serious. Like wholeheartedly, thank you so much for inviting us up here. Let us be a part of this year. I mean, this is probably one of the coolest experiences we've done.
That's cool, man. Well,
in barbecue.
You know, like I told you guys early on, I said, man, you know, we've listened to you guys for a little while, but you guys are so down to earth. You know, you not full of hot air like some of these guys. You know, they get on and go 90 miles an hour. Blah, blah, you know, I listen to you guys when I'm sitting back in the easy chair. You know, not riding down the road. When I'm riding down the road, I'm listening to the guy that's going 90 miles an hour.
Right.
Because that keeps me awake and going and all that. But when I really want to just chill out and listen, I turn to smoking in the brisket guys on for sure. So.
I love it.
I can't sing a song like Brad. I'm sorry, man. I heard Brad Orson in here singing yesterday. I was like,
my
dude.
goodness.
He sang quite a few times.
I got to teach him some different words, though. He just kept saying that grabbing the brisket.
That's the chorus. Let's move.
But we're actually going to probably chop that up a little bit and
turn that into a song.
We're going to put it on this.
Dude.
We're on some music, maybe on a TikTok or something.
Yeah,
so.
maybe we loop that thing like on the website or something. Maybe that'd be maybe that's our new website theme or something.
I don't know.
Too cool, man.
Yeah.
Too cool. Well, man, I'm telling you, we're honored to have you guys. Appreciate you guys coming out and taking the time to hang out with us. And like always, man, we just starting a new thing, and we look forward to doing it again.
You ain't gonna be able to keep us away now.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
That's it. Cool.
I love it. So listen, NBBQA.org.
That's it.
Go there, check it out.
Barbecue News Magazine.
Barbecue News Magazine.
Yeah. So that's my daytime job.
Yep.
And then NBBQA is my nighttime job, I guess you could say it. But so, you know, most organizations start as a association, and then they grow a magazine or publication as the part of the business. So we're just doing it kind of backwards now. But it all fits. It's all under the same roof now. So
that's awesome.
Love it.
Good, man.
We appreciate it, brother.
Appreciate you
Thanks
guys.
for coming on.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate you.
You got it.
All right, we are at the still here at the Texas Barbecue and Grilling Association. And
National
Association.
You say Texas?
Yeah.
Texas? Did I say Texas?
You did.
Oh,
It's the first time. This is why we don't do this with you, Matt.
Hey, at least I remembered the and grilling part.
And grilling.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The NBBQA annual event.
And we have Sunny Moody.
We've got
And we have
Moody
Sunny Moody.
with Moodswing Barbecue.
Yeah.
Nice. Welcome
guys.
on. Yeah. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Love the opening speech you did there, the keynote speak.
Thank you.
I noticed we were talking to Kell earlier. Noticed a lot of people looked at each other and say, "Wow." Saw a few people wiping their eyes a little bit. So it looks like you killed it.
I guess so. It's kind of intimidating to go and tell your whole story, but yeah, it's good.
Hey, so have you done this? I mean, have you been up and speaking? Keynote speakers? Have you done that
No.
before? No.
No, that was
Could
the
not
first
tell.
time.
Could not even tell.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
it was
That's the first time I've actually had to write out my story so that my thoughts didn't wander and get off on a tangent.
Right,
So I had
right.
to write out the entire story. I'm like, wow, that was a lot.
Yeah. No, that's really good though.
Yeah.
That is so cool. So also the reigning world champion
Yeah.
of steak or
World
SEA
food.
or whatever, right?
Not the SEA,
Not
it's
the
the World
SEA.
Food.
That's
Yep.
right, World Foods.
Mhm.
World Foods.
Yeah.
So I did notice there's a few flyers running around here that they have another they have a steak cook-off here
Yeah, normally they do.
in June.
Oh, yes. Yeah, there's one
And
coming up in June.
it's like I saw the prize money and I'm like,
Yep. It's a lot.
I bet it
You
is.
should come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to be here?
No.
No, you're like I got.
No,
a
I'm
million
teaching a
things.
class that day.
Are you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, they wanted me to come. And I would have for that money.
No, yeah, are you kidding me?
I think it's like $3,500.
$3,500.
I think it's like it's like $3,000 or $3,500.
Yeah, and then second place was I'm like, dude, just let me get top 5. I don't even care at this point. It'll pay for the trip.
I'll teach the class and I'll send Jeff to come compete.
Do it. Heck yeah. So you're teaching. So you're teaching. Are you teaching steak cook-off classes as well? Or are you doing
kinds.
everything?
Yep,
right.
Everything. Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are
So
you
I
doing-
do have a couple steak classes and stuff, but we're also going to be hitting backyard classes as well.
Okay.
Just getting people involved in barbecue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Love
Right.
Yeah.
I love how it's like everybody has this mission, in barbecue, and what they want to do and get from it, and then give back to it. It's It's freaking amazing. That's what
Yeah.
it is. Like, everybody here has been so nice, and I love the stories from everybody's just a little bit different. You know, but the one common thing I will say there is a lot of giving back to the next generation or the next people that want to come up and whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Everybody's super helpful because they want each other to grow. I mean,
Yeah.
how are you going to grow the barbecue community if you're not willing to help somebody else out?
That's right.
If you've been there and done that, then give the advice.
Nice. So, any tips or for first time people that let's say like myself, like, you know, I am the best steak cooker at my house.
Perfect.
Right?
Love it.
But is there like a tip or a trick right before, like, when you're going to turn in your steak or anything like that? Anything special that a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't really think about that? Or
For a competition?
Yeah.
Just make sure you hit your temperature.
Okay.
And you'll hear a lot of people like to butter. I don't drench mine in butter, but I'll just dab it. Because you want it to have that shine, but I'm not trying to wash away any marks, or I'm not trying to create just a buttery flavor in their mouth, because I want them to still be able to taste the steak.
Yep.
And I will actually use a finishing dust just to give it that pop. Of flavor. Yeah.
Nice.
So the butter is more for a cosmetic thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Need to take
Cosmetic
the
and taste.
I know. Need to take the glass.
Yeah.
And make sure you take your string off.
right. So your classes, are they always in person, or are you ever going to do anything like where it's like online?
I am actually in conversation setting up an online one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Very
so
cool.
I'll let you guys know first when
Yeah.
that gets released. But
Definitely.
yeah.
I'm sure those are going to be popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Like, how do you have the time?
I don't know.
Like,
I'm still figuring this all out.
Are you like a robot? You go to bed at 3 a.m. and get up at 4 a.m.
Yeah,
right?
pretty much.
And just go like, okay, well, time. I've recharged. I got plugged in enough. There it is. Perfect.
Yeah. I leave from here tomorrow morning, fly home, pack up, and we drive out to a KCBS comp this weekend. And I'm gone until Sunday.
Nice.
So,
Wow.
yeah, it's just boom, boom, boom. I have something every single week until like July. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's bonkers.
Yeah. I would love to do that.
Living the barbecue life right now.
Right. Yeah,
It's the stupid jobs we have.
we got to quit our jobs.
Right. That's
You
it.
should come take the class in Kansas, because then you'd learn brisket from the world champion brisket cooker
There it
and
is.
steak from me. You
There it
get
is.
both
Both.
for one price.
When is it?
It's in a couple weeks. April 23rd?
Okay.
Yeah, in Kansas City.
Okay. Well, we're gonna blast it out there. Is there a deadline where you can't sign up?
I think he's going to cut it off at like the 15th or 16th.
Okay.
But it's at fergalicious.barbecue.com under classes, so you can go and sign up. It's with Richard Fergala and I and two
Yeah.
world champions.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's the next in-person class.
So, I mean, with competing, right? Big competition, big competing, whatever else, big branding,
Yeah.
right? You've got way more than just the world champion. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's like, it's fantastic,
Right.
But you've got a brand that you're building as well, right?
Correct, yeah.
And it's not just the Moodswing barbecue,
Right. Yeah.
You want to elaborate a little bit?
It's sunny.
It's sunny. I was waiting for her to say it. I was waiting for it. It's here.
Yeah,
I'm here.
we're building Sunny Moody, actually.
There it is. Yeah.
So Moodswing is just going to be our family competition team that we'll be able to follow and give competition recipes and stuff, and we'll still compete as a family. Grilled Fit will always be near and dear to my heart because I'm a personal trainer and nutrition coach. So I'm able to take that nutrition training and turn it into healthy grilling recipes and teach people that barbecue doesn't always have to be heavy.
Yep.
But I want to teach backyard too. You know, there's women that need to get into this and would love it, or just the beginners, you know, people that are not willing to step out of their comfort zone but want to try it and are scared. So I want to help everybody, the beginners. So it's just a line of everything. So Sunny, I'm just going to teach.
Nice.
Teach.
Well, I think that's really cool because one of the things that you see, and someone made a comment about this earlier, is like somehow, some way, man got control of the remote control and the grill outside,
Yeah.
and that's not really, and that's not. First of all,
That's
that's
not how
not
it has to be.
No, it's not how it has to be, and it's not really how it is.
Right.
You know, whatever. And I think sometimes it can be intimidating for really any newcomer,
Yeah.
man or woman, doesn't matter,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
And that's the hurdle right there, saying like, it's not as big as you think this is. It's
Correct.
very simple. Once you get the fire lit, a lot of things
Yep.
you're cooking on your stove at this point, you know, sometimes. So
Yeah.
and I do like how versatile, like, people think like, well, obviously if I'm going to be outside, I'm only going to be cooking a protein on the grill, and you're like,
No, I do everything from appetizer to entree to sides to vegetables to desserts.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make an entire meal on the grill.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. And one of the coolest things somebody said that they do is they smoke their spaghetti. They like a little bit of smoke in their spaghetti, so they'll take their sauce and do their sauce out on the grill. And I'm thinking, like, this is freaking genius.
Yeah.
Like, more people, I don't know. I mean, it's just, it's not that far out of the box, but it really, a lot of people don't, nobody would ever really do
Right.
it, you know.
Right. I tried putting just the spaghetti on the grill one time. It did not work.
Did not work.
Did it fall through the grates?
It fell
Yeah,
through
okay.
every time.
Do you have the,
You'd need one of those little like mesh mats to put down before
right,
you do the pasta.
Right. That's so weird. I don't know why we had to go there with you, John.
All right, I'm going to go.
Okay.
So the grill fit, that's what's grill fit, right?
Yeah.
And where do we get more information on that? Because I'm really interested in that.
Okay, so I am actually creating a website. We've been working with a designer, but we're switching designers currently. So it is going to be sunnymoody.com, and it will cover all aspects. So I'll have a spot for barbecue, backyard barbecue recipes. It'll follow our family as we go on the trail. It'll have events where you can find me or find us as a family where we're going to be, classes and things. And then it will also have grilled fit, so you'll be able to have all the healthy grilling recipes that I create.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm really interested in that because I don't know if you noticed, it's very easy to not be healthy and be into barbecue.
Yeah, well,
You know?
and a lot of people, do extremes. Like if you heard my talk this morning, you can do the extremes, but that's not realistic, and it's not something you can do forever. So you need to be realistic with your lifestyle. So it's about including all the different food groups, but learning how to eat them properly. So,
Right.
yeah.
So you're saying don't
do anything drastic. Don't eliminate something.
Okay.
I'm still going to eat my cake.
Right. Keep drinking beer. You're fine.
Right. Drink beer, eat large pizzas, burger.
Maybe just not all the time.
Right. Once a month.
Crammed all that in one day.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
That's what I heard. So
Hey,
ice
I
cream,
still have pizza.
ice cream at 10 o'clock at night. I love this. This is great ideas. I have never been more fit in my life.
I think you need to attend the class. Okay.
You need to attend a nutritional class. Yeah. So this year you're competing all over the place.
I am.
You have to defend your title, right?
Yes. So, currently I'm the world steak champion.
Yep.
So I have to go up against the 9 other category champions in just a few weeks to become the world head champion.
There it is.
Everything. So for $100,000.
That's
Okay.
We'll see.
awesome.
Yeah, it's a 3-round elimination. So we'll
Where's
see how I
it
do.
going to be held at?
Lake Murray, South Carolina.
That's so cool.
And when
I'm
was
like-
the world champion? Was that
It was in November.
okay? Because I
Yeah.
remember when we had you on in February, you had either just got it or
Yep.
that's right.
Yeah, that was in November. Now we're heading into the final round, final table.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
that's crazy.
So if people want to follow you and
Yes.
this journey that you're going to be on, all of it, but like social media wise.
Facebook, I am most active on Facebook.
Okay.
I'm still trying to grow TikTok and Instagram. I'm not as, I don't post as regularly as I should. I'll get
Yeah.
there someday. But Facebook, it's basically my life all the
Okay.
time.
If
Yep.
I know a lot about TikTok,
Yeah.
so
Oh my God.
okay, I don't
So
know a lot of. I don't.
Just pass it over to him and he
I
can
don't-
run it.
He knows
Don't
nothing.
I don't tell
He
me.
didn't attend the social media panel that they had yesterday.
I do not. I do not. I don't know how to do TikTok. I know how to watch the videos, and that's it. John is the TikTok master.
I know.
He does. He kills it. He puts them together. I don't know where. I just found out the other day where the music came from. I didn't even know that. So I was like,
That's
Are y'all,
awesome.
how big is your music library to have all this music? And then they're like, no, you just
He's
go.
like, it's on the app.
It's on the
Right.
app. I'm like, I'm not going to ever speak again. That's
Yeah, that was a lie.
right. So Facebook. So are you going
Facebook,
to?
I would follow me. If you want to follow our family, just our competitions and
Yeah.
things that we do, that'd be Moodswing Barbecue. If you want to follow me, it's just Sunny Moody.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
you can find me.
I'd be pretty cool. I don't know if you could or would or whatever else, but maybe some of that journey of progress. If you can Facebook Live or does Facebook have a live?
Yes.
Yes,
I don't
they
even
have a
know.
live.
I don't even know. Okay.
I
So-
went live yesterday.
Did
Did
you?
you?
Nice.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
I was just showing them around the event area and stuff, but yeah.
Nice.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
I would tune in. I'm not gonna lie. I would tune in to see how this whole crazy thing is going for you, and
Okay.
yeah. So
I'll do that.
awesome.
I can do Facebook Lives.
Okay.
They don't scare me. They're good.
Right. I should know more about this stuff. Like
John's over
20
here is like, I've been saying this for 2 years.
Right? I should read a book on this stuff or something.
Yeah. There's an app for that.
There's an app for that. Yeah. So anything else coming up right now that you're...
Oh, just everything. We're hitting the competition trail. We've got classes going on. We're hitting all different kinds of competitions. Like, I'm not just specifically steak. So.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, everything.
So I know your kids are competing with you, right? And there's probably a little bit of a sibling rivalry a little bit because one's a little bit older than the other one, right?
Yep.
So
I have 4 girls. Our oldest one competes with us as an adult.
Okay.
The younger ones compete in the kids' queues, and that's where it gets, I'm going to do better than you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's 4 girls.
4 girls. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Our 2 oldest ones are going to start doing the Melissa Cookston Junior Barbecue League, though.
Okay.
So they're going to have their own little competition team and do all 4 meets.
Wow. I don't know how you're going to make it. I don't know how you're going to be able to...
We're going to figure it out.
It's like busy. Soccer practice, right?
Yeah.
You're like, no, we get baseball practice.
I'm not soccer mom. I'm barbecue mom.
Barbecue mom.
Okay, that's it. That's going to be the thing.
How cool is that? That is so freaking cool.
I wish I could get my kids to want to
I know.
do that.
I was the same. I'm trying to get my kids into it, but those attention spans don't do too well with these like low and slow cooks and everything.
Start with just grilling.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Start with grilling. Fast things.
Yeah, like hamburgers. Like have them help with hamburgers or pork chops. Anything, just appetizers would be great for them to help with. Yeah, and then just get them around it constantly. Then they're going to be more interested in it as you go.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Well, they didn't have like this. They've got high school teams out here, right?
Yeah.
They did not have that when I was.
No, they didn't when I was either.
No, and I don't know if I would have done it, but I think maybe I would have kind of like, what's this over here or whatever. But these guys, these kids, they are.
Oh, they're into it deep.
They are.
Oh yeah.
It's serious.
Yeah.
They are not playing around.
Nope.
Like I hear earlier they had like a little. They were clapping, they're praising each other, right, or whatever. But I think they were pulling something off. Or
because their meat was looking good, so they were wrapping it.
Right.
Yeah. That's awesome.
They were excited.
I think Kell was telling us that they were trying to team them up with some of the masters here and everything, and they're like,
they wouldn't have it.
No, we want to compete against
correct.
them. I thought that was hilarious.
I think that's awesome.
How cool is that? So
it's the next generation.
It is. Do you know the categories they're cooking?
I know it's dessert and beans, and then there's 3 meats, but I don't remember which 3 meats for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's what judges.
Well, he said they were up here at like 5 a.m. cooking, so they might be doing a whole brisket. So
yeah, they might be doing brisket.
Mm-hmm. So the drum smokers have taken over a lot of competitions, right? Do you currently cook on a drum smoker?
So I don't currently, but I have before, so I know how to use one and stuff. And
what kind of smoker are you using?
I use a big offset smoker.
There it is.
Yeah. Goldilocks.
There's
just pretty.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice. It's one of those, I'm not a hater, right? 'Cause I don't hate. I like it's a tool, it's a barbecue thing. But I will say you don't get as much, there's a smokiness that you just don't get from the drum. It cooks it perfectly, right?
Yeah.
And I tend to gravitate more towards I want a little bit more smokiness in the meat that we're doing. Do you find the same thing?
Yes. No? Anytime you're going to have any kind of live fire or like with the offset or reverse flow smokers and you're using wood, you're going to get a heavier smoke flavor than you would from a pellet smoker, from a charcoal grill, from any kind, you've got to be using the wood in order to get a heavier smoke flavor. It is how it is.
Yeah, I don't accuse them of like taking the easy path or whatever.
Oh, here we go. Jesus.
It's like, it's John and his Traegers, and he brings those out all the time, and I'm like, oh, John, that was a big. He pours the.
Are you done?
The pellets. Yeah.
Are you done? Are we done here?
Anyways, they still cook amazing meat.
They do, and the other thing about it is it's there. If you don't have something in your arsenal, right, you should be using them all.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that we try to preach.
Start with something.
Yeah. Get out there and do it.
Doesn't matter if it's a drum. Doesn't matter if it's an offset. Doesn't matter. Anything. Just get out and do it. Pellet smoker. If you're intimidated by grilling, pellet smoker.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Set it and forget it.
Right. That's what John does all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, but sometimes people don't have the time, so it's great for busy families. I mean, pellet smokers are wonderful because you can go and stick it on, run some errands, come back and check it, and it's still fine.
It's still fine.
If you're doing an offset smoker, you've got to tend that fire.
Yeah.
So how much dedication? Yeah. How much dedication do you want it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, we like the offset style smoking. John's got the. I don't know if you ever saw the. You've seen the right. the Johnny and June.
Yep.
It's not a pellet smoker.
They're not. They use bigger pellets.
Big pellets.
Those use bigger pellets. But every time that thing pulls up, I'm just like, I love this pit.
Yeah.
I love this pit. It's freaking awesome. And you named yours
Goldilocks.
Goldilocks.
Yeah, she's gold.
Nice. I've not seen it.
You got to see it.
Who's the builder?
Kansas City Smoker Co. Duck Siegel. We had her custom built. She kind of looks like a Jambo or an Outlaw.
Yeah.
But we were able to customize her how we wanted.
Nice.
So, yeah,
That's what
love
you want.
her. Yeah, she's incredible.
She's freaking awesome. So, Moodswing Barbecue.
Yeah.
Sunny Moody brand.
Yeah.
Fit. What was it called? I'm sorry.
Grilled Fit.
Fit.
Yep. Yep.
And then the whole family circus.
It's a whole
of
family
barbecue.
aware. Yeah, whole family affair.
Nice. I love it. Well, one last time, tell everybody where they can get you, see you.
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok is my most prominent. So just Facebook, for sure. You can follow everything that I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then our website will be up shortly. So.
And then super secret recipe you want to share real quick?
Super secret recipe.
Preferably the one that won the world.
Oh, yeah, that's a filet mignon.
There it is.
And that's all you're getting.
That's what you're getting.
With the Brussels sprouts.
Right.
Grits.
I love it. Hey,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
definitely
do this again. Sunny is amazing. She's always so fun to talk to.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, for sure. And she's so directed. She's very focused. Maybe it's a better word, right? But here's the deal. Everybody out here has been.
Oh, for sure.
It's been crazy, man.
It's been awesome just getting to see everybody face to face. Like people we've talked to and interacted with online. Now we get to shake their hands, see them in person. It's been wonderful.
They're out there cooking whole hogs right now as we speak.
Yeah, I think of this. World champions, Hall of Famers, the best in the barbecue business, the best in the catering business. I feel like there's so much stuff that had been, so much information has been dropped in the last 3 days. Whole hog, how to break down a lamb. There's so much information in this thing. It's ridiculous.
And there's so many people we just didn't get the time to interview. We could have been out here for a whole nother week and still not gotten everybody we wanted to on here.
Yeah, there wasn't a person here that I wasn't like, oh, I want to talk to them. Ooh, I want to talk to them. Everybody here was great. And if you're not a member of the NBBQA, highly recommend you look into getting into that. I think it's like $100 for the year. You get to come to events like this and talk to people that are freaking awesome.
Yeah, you're rubbing elbows with the people that have started these competitions, right? Mm-hmm. One, some of these people are like, yeah, that was the father of the person that started the IBCA. Right. This is the person that did this. This is you know what I mean? There's so many first, and then you have everybody. You see the lineage coming down, right? You've got sons and daughters and grandsons that have followed the footsteps of some of these great people. It's pretty cool, man.
And if the membership and the ticket price is too much for you to rub noses with all these highfalutin people in the industry, then get your priorities straight.
Right. And
yeah.
It's not like, I don't know how to explain it, but the people that we're talking about, they sound like, oh man, those are that'd be weird going up and talking to them. But they're so down to earth. Everybody wants to talk to everybody. Nobody was making you feel weird about going up to them. No,
I totally agree. And I was talking to, actually, I said something to Sonny earlier, and I was like, I saw you, I waved at you, I wanted to say a million things to you. I just felt like I couldn't. I was a little bit timid, to do so. Even at one point, I was like, I walked by you, and I was like, if you'd have made eye contact and looked up, I would have been, hey, what's going on? And she just laughed. She's like, I have been feeling the same way. She's like, but what I found out was, just say something. She's nobody here. Everybody's kind of like, hey, if you talk to me, I'll talk to you. If you want some information, you want to ask me how to do something. By the way, we got some off the record information from people, hey, in comps, what they're doing with whatever else. So you want the secrets and the tidbits?
Oh, you'll get it.
Of some of these competitions, you're getting it here. You're not going to get it by emailing them or going to a competition asking, hey, what's your secret recipe? But here, you get little tips and tricks to the trade right here.
Oh, you get a little tipsy first, too.
Yeah, I know, but it's pretty freaking awesome.
And make sure you check out the nbbqa.org. You can get your membership there, find out when the next event's going to be. And the next NBBQA main event is going to be in less than a year. They said it's actually going to be accelerated. Mm-hmm. And also check out grabbingthebrisket.com. You can reach out to us, get all of our socials on there. Let us know what you thought about the interviews.
Absolutely.
If you don't like them, then keep it to yourself. I don't want any feedback on that. Yeah. I'm just kidding. Feedback's welcome. Feedback is welcome. We appreciate it.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure talking barbecue with you.
God, I love it every time I hear that. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. All right, later, guys.
Thanks, everybody. We've been great.
Dang it, Bobby. Just grab the brisket. We'd like to give a special thanks to Sucklebusters Barbecue Rubs and Sauces, Bolner's Fiesta Spices, CoolieNation Custom Koozies, Cambro Manufacturing, YETI Coolers, the Smoke Sheep Barbecue Newsletter, and Dalstrong Knives. We definitely appreciate your support.